everybody, welcome to another stream. Alright, let's see what we can get done today. Where did we leave things on the last stream? We decided to try looking at ICE after having looked at a bunch of other GUI frameworks, and we ran into some issues with the compilation of the tabs example that I was trying to get working. There seems to be some odd issues going on with the latest dependencies because the tabs were in a separate crate and not in the main core. Okay, so let's go back to browsers and IDEs and things. So we're trying to build the tab document example, which has got the requirements thus. I updated my log sec as well, so I've got a new theme. So if it should hopefully match sort of like the themes of the other apps I use a bit better now. Anyway, so these are the requirements, and we started creating it, and we made some progress. And the progress we made was this. Amazing. So what we're trying to do is create a toolbar up here with buttons that do stuff. Underneath it, create a tab bar, and underneath that have a content area which displays some content related to the selected tab. Right, let's bring up the code. And for those following along from yesterday's stream, yes, I went through and read the documentation today in this book thing. So I went through this. And it sort of explains a little bit about why you have this odd requirement for an update method and a requirement for a message. In my case, I'm not sending any messages yet. I have no state. Nothing. Nothing. But we'll see how it pans out. So, I think we actually finally managed to create a tab bar, right? But we haven't got any tabs to add to it. So what we're going to do is make the add home button display the home tab. We haven't got a home tab yet, so let's see how we go about creating one of these. So we need to dynamically do it. So I guess the home button needs to have an on press, and then it's add home clicked. Well, I guess just add home is probably sufficient. So now I've actually got a message. Fine. And then I guess here we're going to need to handle this message. And then I guess here we need to go add home. Now I'm not doing it in line here because there is a requirement that says when the config file, which we haven't defined yet, has got a setting that says show home on startup, and that is set to true, we're going to need to call the same method. Quite what it's going to do, I don't know. Yeah. Is this mutable? It is. Okay. Let's do this instead. Oops. Press the wrong one. So we're going to do something in here. So we don't have any tabs. We haven't got any notion of like tabs. We've got a tab bar, but we don't have access to it. So I guess we need to refer to some example. Oh, this window thing just doesn't work at all. It just goes, no, I'm not going to change the window. So I have to pick it from File Explorer. I don't know why this is broken, but it is broken. Oh, it works now. You've got a lot of windows, don't you? Oh dear. Let's just display each one of these. Oh, when it's minimized, it doesn't show it. Great. Okay, so that's what the problem is. So it selects it, but doesn't actually... it's probably a Microsoft thing. Okay, so the iced AW crate has two examples. One is tabs and the other is tab bars, which is very confusing because they sort of do the same thing. We decided that we were using tabs and calling new on it to do it, right? So we want to find the example that is doing that. Oh yeah, I deleted loads of stuff out of here. Let me reset this. Check out master, I suppose. Master or main? Main. Okay, so we brought all the stuff back. But it was broken and now it's not. There we go. Right. Hi, Jules. This channel is basically about building new pick and place machine software. Pick and place machine software needs some user interfaces. I'll just quickly show you, I suppose, the sort of overview of the entire project. Where are we? Design. That. Make that a bit bigger. That's kind of the overview of what we're trying to build. And currently we're working on the UI for the planning, right? But in order to write a UI for planning, we need to have a UI framework. And in order to find which UI framework might suit our requirements, we have to evaluate them. And the way that we're evaluating them is by creating this tabbed document example, which is this. The requirements are here. I'll paste... if you join our Discord server, the MakerPnP Discord server, I think this file is posted there if you want to read it. Or you can go back and pause the video. So that's what we're trying to build. So it's a productivity style app. You know, like this is an example of a productivity style app. This is LogSec, for instance, and it's got tabs and so on, and it's got menus, toolbars, and all the rest of it, right? Your IDE that you use is a similar kind of productivity app, and this one's got nice things like docking panels and all this kind of stuff. And this is the kind of application that I need to be creating, because I need to be able to work on multiple documents at the same time, ideally pull those documents out to be able to look at two of them side by side and things like that. Because when you're building electronic PCBs, you need to look at all the details of what you need to put on the PCB, such as all the parts, where they go, the physical placement of them, and all this kind of thing. So that's what we're trying to do. So, we're looking at iced, and we're looking at a tabbed example. Yeah, there's an overview video as well on the YouTube channel about what the project aims to do. It might be a bit long though, because it's the live stream. So we're trying to work out how we access the tabs, but this doesn't have tab bar example. It's got active tab, and it's got a tab ID, and then it's got instances of tabs, but not the tab bar itself, because this example doesn't need to interact with the tab bar. It only reacts to the messages from the tab bar, I guess. Now let's quickly look at the other example, tab bar. Right, and this has got a active tab with a number, and then it's got tabs. And this is sort of the kind of thing that we want. Yeah, but this thing, what does it do when it creates the view? It goes tab bar new, you see. Whereas tabs uses tabs, and this tabs owns a tab bar. And it also has tabs that go along with it. And then, okay, maybe it's just as simple as just keeping a reference to that tabs. I honestly don't know. Because we've got this tab bar, and then we add it to the UI. But we're going to move the tab bar into it. And we're going to return an element. So I can't access this thing later. How are we supposed to call push on it, for instance? What can we do with this? Let's look at the structure. Because there's a push method, it needs a mutable self. Right? So I need to call, I need to do this. I need something like tab bar dot push and then something. Or do I? Because is the view just going to be called again, which then looks at the state, which then adds appropriate tabs to it every single time, which seems a little bit wasteful. Right, let's look at the tab bar example again. Because this thing has the ability, let me run this example just so that you can see why I'm confused about this. This example has the ability to dynamically add tabs, which is what I want. Right? That. Right? But this tab bar looks like, well, it ain't pretty, let's put it like that. Right, and then this example, when I find the main button, there it is. This example looks like this. Where it's got tabs, but it's got an X button on it, but you can't actually do anything with the X button, so I think there's an error to have this X button on here, but well, you know. So do I want tabs or do I want a tab bar? I still don't know. I think I don't need the tabs. Let's just look at it. Wait a second though, but let's look at the tab bar one. So the state of this app has tabs and they're part of the state of the application, which is sort of what I need. This. Whereas this example, it doesn't have any, where is it? it has the tabs, but they're not dynamic. It doesn't have access to the tab bar. The only place that the tab bar is used is this. The push method takes what? A label and a view. Right. Kind of what you want, but yeah, I don't see what I'm supposed to do with this tabs thing. For instance, if I try moving this tabs into the state, that's gonna fail, I imagine. We'll just try it. I'm sure this is not going to work. Yeah, because self isn't mutable when you're in the view. Right. So do I construct this somewhere else? Yeah. It's very confusing having two tab bar examples. Right, so clearly this isn't, this isn't possible. And then this just gets returned here and we don't have access to it anymore. So what am I supposed to do? Jules says, view is derived from the state, so you want to store a vector of ID in the state and construct the tab in the view. Yeah, this is kind of what I was thinking. The view is derived in the state. So it feels like I need tabs. Well, I've already got a tab ID and then a tab, I suppose. And we do it the same way as pub fun view element of some tab message, I suppose. Maybe. Oops, none. And then somehow I need to create the state. Yeah, well, let's look at that other example again, because they did something similar to this. They had this trait tab, right? But they didn't use that. So getting ahead of myself here, and we're going to need a home tab. Where we create a view, and let's just create some text inside this view for now, just to see what happens. Is this the right text thing? No. That one. But we can't store this in here, because it needs to be one of those. But that won't compile for various reasons. We still need to do this. So let's just go, I suppose here we've got a mutable self. Push, pish. Home tab. Wait. Should I be using a slot map here? Or should I be using a hash map? Or should I be using a? Should I really be using a vec of two things? I have to create. You see, I don't care about this tab ID. Let's use slot map because that's what we've been using previously. And as per the other examples, we shall borrow. Where is it? No, let's look at the other one. We didn't get to adding tabs on this. The Floem one perhaps was more complete. Yeah. That's the snippet that I wanted. New key type. Couldn't remember that. Because this is garbage. Tab key. We're going to call it tab key. And we're going to use a slot map of tab key and din tab probably. It's probably not going to work, but well, let's not do that. See what happens. All right, so let home tab, because we don't care about the key basically, and the way that slot map works is different. The tabs, yeah. But we need to create this home tab. Home tab. Well, is it? Home tab, new, I suppose. Painted. What? What the hell am I looking at here? What? What? That's very surprising. Let's just go default on this for a second because we don't have. That's probably why I'm getting confused. So home tab, and then we're gonna derive default. Sure. Missing lifetime specifier, yes. Can we just elide it? Is it static? I don't know if I need that, but okay. Yeah, and then we see we can't have that, so what's going to go in here? Box. Right, and then tab cannot be made into an object because it's not object safe. I guess it needs self here. Yes, and then we need it here as well. And then we've got this annoying error message again. Is we still have got no idea why that might do that. Yeah, we don't care about the key right now, but that's how the API works. So we've got this again. Why are we running into this again? Map the message, probably. Map what message into what? I'm still failing to grok this error message. Let me just make it bigger. Tab message into message, but where and why do I need to do that? Should this be a I have no idea. Like what? I haven't changed any of this code. I haven't changed this tab bar code. All I changed was the key type. And now I'm getting a weird compilation error message, which I don't understand what I'm supposed to do about it. Following other types implement from. Right. Right, from tabs message tab key. Which is required by tabs tab message into. And it's this into that it doesn't like. So is this a no, it's the same message. Still don't understand what I'm supposed to do here. I'm really struggling with the error messages today and yesterday as well. This error message in particular, I've got no idea what I'm supposed to do really. I'm going to just stare blankly at the screen. It's not implemented for this. Like, it doesn't tell me where this trait requirement is coming from. There's no line number to help me out other than the line number that I'm on. Why does it require it? And if it requires it, what's it need it for? Etc. I mean, implement what for what? What do I need to do? Why would I need to do it? For what? For iced core element, like, no. Definitely don't need to do that. That's silly, but I need to do something else, but I don't know what. See, I had this yesterday, but the problem was due to some versioning issue. So I switched it to use the latest version of Iced AW, and then I updated that so it used the latest version of Iced Fonts, and updated Iced Fonts so it used the latest version of Iced Core, and then the compilation error message went away. And now, magically, it's back. What changed between this and this? We added slot map. Like, what changed in here? The only thing that changed here was removal of setting the active tab and changing the key. Right, and now I'm getting a compilation error here. I don't understand. Is tabs a struct of iced AW? Yes, it is. Like, why am I getting a compilation error for making those changes to this bit of code? Let's just for fun, right? We'll put this tab ID back in here. Right, and then just for fun, we're going to switch this to use tab ID again, right? And then we're just going to compile this. Then we get that. We can do this, and yeah, it's magically failing again. Why? So it's nothing to do with the tab key. At this point, I haven't changed this bit of code, and I'm getting a compilation error for it, and I don't understand why. Let's double check the iced AW cargo toml file to make sure that we are... Oh, wait, hold on. I see what happened. When I reverted some changes to the tab document UI in the AW thing, it also reverted my changes to the cargo toml file when I did this cut down tabs thing, when I did this. Okay. Alright, so the problem wasn't in my code after all, it was in the iced.aw crate. And the change to that was to not do this, but to use iced fonts, right? And then this version of iced fonts is updated to use the local version of iced. Right, let's compile this again and see if the error message goes away. Right, now we're getting these issues. What was the issue with this? Oh, right. We need to do this as well. Refresh this. Oh yes, and then also the dev dependency needs to be fixed as well. That's right. Right, and wait for the change to the cargo.lock file to show up. See, these problems wouldn't come about if tabs was integrated into iced itself. Having them in a separate library is not ideal. Right, so now let's try to compile this. And it should magically compile due to some other random changes. Okay, that's fine. Where does it want this? See, this is stupid. This sort of documentation like this, requirement for documentation for a struct, is stupid. Tab key. Is my documentation going to tell me anything else that the name of the structure doesn't already tell me? No. No. A key for a tab. Pointless. Right, so it compiles now. So now we can get back to the job of trying to use the tab key here and not doing this. Right. And we can get rid of this tab ID thing again. There we go. So, where have we got to? So we've got, if I press home, it should add something to the tabs, but we're not doing anything with this slot map here at the moment. So, you know, the next thing we're going to need is an index map, not a slot map. Probably. Because when we construct this view, I guess we need to go for each for tab Well, I suppose it's key tab in self.tabs. And then I guess what, we mutate the tab bar. And we push into it some things. See, ICE is very different from some of the other UI frameworks that have been used up to now, because some of the other ones, they only construct the view once. Whereas ICE, you continually recreating the view by the looks of it. This view method gets called frequently, which is interesting. Well, we've got a box. Yeah. What do we need here? So, right, we don't do that. We don't push the tab into it. We need to push something else into it. We need to push a tab ID into it, which is really the key. Right. And then we need a label, and let's just say, I'm just going to do this for now. We'll add it to the trait in a minute. And then element is going to be the tab.view, right? But this is probably returning tab message. So this probably needs to, I don't know. Right, tab message. I mean, I certainly don't want my trait tab to have a dependency on all of the messages for the entire application. That would be silly. And then this is where Jules said map the message. But where and how would I do something like that? No idea. Maybe this should be tab message. And then what am I supposed to do here? This new method wants a on select. On close. I suppose we could go tab closed. Maybe. Now what? Value used after being moved. Let's compile it and see what happens. Tab label. What's a tab label? Oh, I see. Now what happens? Oh, well, yes. And now we've got this magical trait bound message again. This is starting to annoy me, this is. So here we've got a message, but all the elements in here need to return this type of message. Let's just see whether this compiles like this. Sure. Right, yeah, because let's look at the other example. So it creates a new tab bar. See, should I be creating a tab bar or should I be creating tabs? Right. Let's just. Right, where does this one? Right, I see. So it adds. Right. So it gets an iterator and then it creates a new one that right inside that. I suppose we could do the same thing here. Let me just check that error message again. Wait a second. Does my tab message implement the thing? All messages are supposed to be debug and clone. Oops. Alright, but that doesn't help this. tab key. Do we need? Should I be using tabs? That's the question. Because this tabs maintains its list of tabs, elements, which are the views, I suppose. See, I don't like this tab bar anyway. It's got this length and width on here. Like, does I'm expecting that all of the tabs change their size dynamically, which isn't necessarily what I want. Don't know whether we've got any control over that, but I still don't know what to do about this problem anyway. I mean, we can try the same approach. We can get the iterator from this and then do this thing. I don't know whether that's going to fix it. And then I guess we fold this, and the first argument to the fold is the thing that you start with, which is this, and then the second argument is some closure, in which you do stuff. You get two things: tab, fold when you do this. Yeah, and the item. Wait a second. Is it? Was it? Which way around is it? It's like that, isn't it? Yes. And then we want to go tab bar, push, and then all of these things, right? And then here we can go key and tab. And then does that fix the move problem? Yes, it does. So now we've got to deal with this problem, which is more useful. But what am I supposed to do about this? So all of these elements are supposed to use these messages, right? But my tab bar is got a different message. Mapped tab bar. So I think this is what Jules was alluding to. But we need to do this. Right, but now we're going to get that same problem. The trait bound is not implemented, right? So how do we fix that? Where do we fix it? Let's look at other examples. I want another example which uses more than one message. No. Yeah. We've got message. And a task message. Okay. Right, so how does this work then? Task message. Let's look at this. So this is for a task. Right, and this is update method, but this task gives you a view which gives you task message back. So where's this called from? Right. There's a map method. Right. Let me look at that again. So it calls a view method on it, and then that gives you a view back, and then you map that. There's a map method apparently on this. On the element. Right, but there isn't one here. I see, I was looking for it in the wrong place, you see. Well, not entirely the wrong place, but I don't know. What are you supposed to do here? Foo. Yeah. And then we're supposed to do something, which is probably going to be the same thing that this did, which is one of these. I don't know why it would even need it, mind you, but sure. Tab message. New size? What's this about? Is it a tab key? Probably is a tab key. So we've got a tab message. No, we don't have a tab key there. Let's get rid of this. I don't know why we need it yet. And what, we return a message of tab message with a tab message in it, and then maybe someone cares about that message. Does it compile? Not yet, but this is easily fixed. Let me rename this as well. Okay, so Yeah, that's okay. We're going to deal with it later. Right, what happens now? So we've got it creates tabs. I'm shocked. I can't select tabs, mind you. And what is it? Why is there this funny icon here? What's that about? Why does it say content area twice? Is it because the tab content area let's look at the message. Okay, let's distinguish the two. Main content area. Because I think we can delete this main content area thing, but I'm going to keep it there for the moment. So main content area is not displayed, and when I click home, it is displayed. Why? Why? Why is this not displayed? Is it because the tab bar is taking up all the remaining space in the window, which I don't necessarily want it to? I said I want a column of things. So for instance, I actually want a status bar underneath the main content area. So this is a problem I need to fix. Let's rename this to be status bar for now. Oh, I renamed it the wrong way. Damn it. Hey. Let me undo that again. Sorry. There. Thank you. Right, so my status bar isn't being displayed. So fix me not displayed when no tabs are present. Right, what else is wrong with this tab bar? There's many things wrong with this tab bar that I don't like. Alright, so one, it's not even present when no documents are open. Right. Normally the way these things work, I mean, I say it like that, but I suppose it depends on the application that you're using. Often, let's say, the way these things work is that you get a tab bar and you get a content area which says, I don't know, open a document, or it's just blank, right? And then you might have a list of the tabs that are open, you know, but you still have the control, you still have the space, you still have the indication that there is a tab bar here, or there's going to be, which is going to have tabs on it at some point. But certainly when everything is closed, you still want to display something in this area. Yeah. So the status bar only appears when a tab is present. That's very strange. Let's see if we can just set a height or something on the tab bar. Oh dear. This fold makes things very difficult to read. So it creates a... Yeah. Let me see if I can fix the indentation here a little bit. Move this comma here. And then the closure is the second argument to fold and therefore it's on the same indentation level, and this bracket should be here. Okay. Obviously, I'm going to go back to the commit messages and review everything and fix things up and everything. These commit messages are more just for me rather than something that I'm actually going to publish. I'll squish them all, in all likelihood. Unless any of them have merit in their own right. Right, so what we're trying to do is make the tabs not take up the entire window. Dot height, and then I don't know about how you specify dimensions in this framework. Something that's into a length. Fill remaining space. No. Fill the least amount of space. And then what is this? What unit is that? F32. Is it pixels? Let's see where other things use it. Or is it? Oh, it's a percentage. Or is it? Is it? It'd be nice to know what the units were here, wouldn't it? Like what are these? What are these numbers? You know, in pixels would be a useful thing here. Is this pixels? I mean, so it's no idea. I'm trying to find it in an example, but no. Oh, look, from pixels. What I need is a layout where the height of the toolbar is automatic, the height of the status bar is automatic, and then the thing that's in the middle is dynamic. That's what I'm trying to do. So I don't really care about the height of the tab bar. I don't care about the height of the toolbar. I just want this to take up the remaining space. Can we go? I don't know. What can we do here? I don't care about the height of it, you see. I just want it to be automatic. No. I need some sort of layout system where it's like auto for all of the three elements. Auto, fill, and auto, perhaps. I don't know. I guess height auto, height fill, height auto. This is what I want. Is there any documentation on how to do such a thing? Let's see if we can find it. No. Don't care about that. Layout. Hi, Quick Flash. Well, yeah, this is how it's going. Thanks for joining the stream. Currently, we're in a position where we've got this UI. I can click tab, I can click this, but the problem is my status bar is not being displayed until I add a tab, which is stupid. I don't know why. It's like the tab bar, which doesn't have any tabs or any content, is taking up the entire remaining space, and then the status bar is not being rendered. I don't know why. I'm met with compilation errors aplenty, such as ones like this, which you've got no idea what you're really supposed to do until you start looking at other examples to see what's going on. So here I've got a tab bar which gives you tab messages, and then I've got an application which is using this type of message, application messages. But if you create a tab bar, you have to magically know that you've got to map things somehow. So you can't just use an unmapped tab bar, for instance. You get lovely compilation messages like this. I mean, this one is slightly more useful. But if you have this, you're met with this message, which is very unhelpful. So I'm not really enjoying that yet. And I'm not really enjoying random artifacts as well, such as, you know, I add my tab labels, right? Tab label home toString. But what you actually get is a label, and then you've got a funny square which gets bigger when you hover over it and has got like some corrupted thing. I'm guessing that it's this font doesn't have the small X button, X that is trying to display there, but at no way, I never specify that the home tab could or could not be closed. So like, because sometimes you want tabs that can't be closed. For even the tab example, for instance, this. Which example? Tabs or tab bar? Tabs example. The tabs example is no good either. Let me show you. It's got it's got this X. These are tabs. These tabs are never even meant to be closed, right? But yet they still have an X button on it. It's just amazing to me that tabs user interface is so broken in pretty much every single Rust GUI framework. It beggars belief. What else can we see that's wrong with this? Oh yeah, that's fantastic rendering. That is. Look at that. No. No. No, display an ellipsis or something when you reach the minimum width or something like that. Just what? And they've all got different heights. No. Come on. Ugh. Next. Yeah. So this the tabs widget is not even a first-class iced citizen. It lives in an additional crate, and that crate is currently broken if you try and use it with master at the moment as well. So that doesn't help matters. Yeah, so I'm not really having a good time, Quick Flash, yet. I'm going to persevere. Although, honestly, it's just this. I don't expect to have to do any work on the widgets. I just want to have widgets that I can just use. All right? I'm not in the job of helping the GUI frameworks improve their widgets and create new widgets and do all this kind of stuff. I'm in the job of trying to write pick and place machine software. Right? So this is my thought on this. So sure, yes, I could make some improvements with the tab bar that's in that iced AW crate, but what if my improvements aren't accepted? Right? What if other people don't like it? Do I want to spend my time even doing that anyway? No. No to all of these things. Just want to use stuff that's already there. Alright. I mean, Java FX tabs. Just as a random thing, it's there. Split panes. Oh, look at it. It's there. This is the kind of thing. Obviously, you don't want all the graphs and the pie charts and all this kind of stuff, but you need a basic set of elements that you can work with. Like tab panes, buttons, labels, some text. Combo boxes. This kind of stuff I want built into any GUI framework that I want to use. Okay. So let's just add fix me's. I'm not even going to bother trying to fix the problems. Let's just move on to try and do the other things that we need to, and just come back to the fix me's as and when, and maybe some other people in the community can help out. So let's just add a fix me. Not display when no tabs are present. Fine. Desired layout. I'm just going to add that there so that we know what we want. Yeah. Keep this. Okay. Right. So what's the next thing we need to do? We've got home. We've got a home tab. Let's look at the home tab for a moment, right? Let's try and display an emoji with a house on it in the tab content area, and let's also fix up the title so it comes from the actual tab. So our tab view does this. Label, let's say. Let's just do that. Implement this. Home to string. Right. And then instead of doing this, we'll go tab label, and then it's going to be tab.label instead of that. Right. That's probably going to work. That still works fine. Great. Add label to tab trait. Okay. So the home tab, and let's see if we can promote this to a file. And we have to undo this weirdness. Okay. Let's have a look. Yeah, last I stream didn't look at the right branch in the pop. I don't know what they have. Yeah, probably not quick flash. I couldn't find it easily, so I do want to know how internationalization should be done. I asked around in the Discord channel a bit yesterday as well. The bottom line is that you've got to do it yourself. It's not done for you. So with that in mind, I'm just ignoring it for now, and it's on my list of red flags for iced. And if I choose to use iced, then it's a problem I guess I have to solve. But for this example, there's no internationalization, and there's one red flag. I know you won't love about eGUI. It's basically made for adding in external crates to get all the functionality you want. Yeah, I mean, it's not to say that you want every single thing you could possibly imagine in one main repo, but for me there needs to be a basic set of widgets that you can have, that you need rather, and that most people creating desktop apps would need, right? Maybe all the users of Iced are creating game apps, or they're creating toy apps, or they're not doing productivity style apps, or they're just very simple. Like all of the apps that I've looked at, I've not found good examples of productivity style app. They all basically are just like single dialogue app, and you know, things move around on them a little bit and this kind of thing, and they don't look like native apps. For instance, you know, just case in point, like you've got this awesome iced list, right? And I'm having issues with GitHub today as well at the moment, so my GitHub's a bit slow. I don't know why. Okay, I'm not going to do this now because it's too slow. But I went through a few of these, and oh, here's the list. Project, and then there's projects using iced as well. Yeah, this is it. So, for instance, an IRC client. I think there's a screenshot on this one. I haven't looked at the Cosmic stuff much. Yeah, GitHub's not happy. Yeah, we'll come back to that thought. Yeah. All right, so let's deal with this. So we've got our home mod, we've got a tab, and we've got a tab content area. Let's just try going to is it this one? House? That's the one. That one. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Can it render emojis? No. Is it because of the font? Possibly. Possibly. Let's just see if we can use a different font here. Looking for an example that uses fonts. Let's look in a different place. Is there an example for fonts? No. Okay, so it can do it. How does this work? It imports the font, which is fine. ... and then it's got. Where's this font coming from? Does this work? Curious. Yeah, ice does seem to be fairly popular. It's certainly got a fairly active Discord server as well, which I was happy to note. Actually, I'll make a note of that. So it doesn't compile. Why? but it's got it. It's there. Why doesn't that work? That's a bit weird. Is it? Wait a second. Well, it's not great when your examples don't compile, is it? No, we're not going to fix this. We'll never get this working easily. So no. So we can't see if this works. So let's look at how it used this font a little bit more though. It's got this. What uses this? That uses this. Font bytes. Why is it importing it if it doesn't need it? Kind of weird, right? Is it unused? Is this just legacy stuff that just forgot to be deleted? Probably. Okay, let's see if we can find another occurrence of .font somewhere and see how that works. So the changelog one doesn't work because it doesn't compile. What's this one? Does this one work? Is there a main method? There it is. Now, I know QuickFlash, I know you like that GUI, but I really don't think it's suitable for the type of app that I'm creating. All right. Okay, this one does actually work. Right, and there seem to be some icons up here. So let's see if those icons were the ones that we found a moment ago. Where is this font coming from? There it is. Okay. So it's got a font and then it goes include bytes. But so is it setting the theme for the entire thing to be this? With name editor icons. Where does it get this? Oh, how does this tie up to anything else? I don't understand what this is doing. It's create a font with the name. Right. So it creates a font, but then how is this icon font? Text, code point. How is it? How does this tie up? So when an icon is displayed, it says it wants to display it using a particular font with a particular name, right? That's how I understand this. But where is this font loaded? Because I can't find any other occurrences of editor icons. Is it somewhere else? No. How do the fonts work in this thing? Because here it goes font, but does this file have a name inside it called editor icons or something? Is that what we're to assume? Because that's the only way I can see it working. Let's open in Explorer. Yes, you see that is, I was right there. Okay. So when you open this, it says font name editor icons. Right. So that's how that ties to it. So you load a font, and then you define the name of the font, and then you say I want to use a font. Okay. Okay. So I think for one of the other examples that we did, we used a font. Was it this one? I'm not sure. I don't think it was this one. MakePad didn't render them. I downloaded some fonts. Let me search my notes, see if I made a note. Font. Nerd fonts, that's right. We downloaded a nerd font. Yeah. That's right. So if I go up from here, there it is. Oh wait, that's interesting. Iced Fonts has got nerd icons in it already. Okay. Let's try using that. Okay, let's get rid of this. So this Iced Fonts thing, what does it say? How do you use it? Usage. Okay, but how do you use it in code? Don't know. Okay. So if we say, oh, this is the Flown one, not that one. That one. So let's use Iced Fonts. And then magically use them. Yeah, we know about that, but is there an example? How are you supposed to use it? Okay. So you can go nerd font. Oh, I see. It would be nice if there was an example on the iced fonts. In the iced fonts README file. So we've got a home tab and we're still trying to make this work. And are we supposed to just go font and then this? Refresh the project, perhaps. It's public and it's constant and it's yeah. Oh, I see. You need a feature for it. It's gated for some reason. Yeah, config node. Fine. That one. Does it let us do it now? Right, now we've got it. There we go. Okay. Can we display a little icon now? No, that's the wrong example. Let's run the right example. That might be useful. No. Is it because you need to load? Yeah, I bet I know what it is. I bet it's probably because you need to do something funny in the main method. So this editor main thing goes iced application and run with editor. So do we need to do something like that? So we've got iced run. And then what? Dot run. And then now we can go font and go nerd font bytes or something. And that way it might load it up, perhaps. No. Why no worky? Is it because it doesn't contain all the emojis? Let's see. It probably is that. It's probably the font doesn't actually have in it what I want it to have in it. So we've got this nerd font, right? And it's got an enum. And it says it holds the glyphs. How do you use these? Like, why am I looking at a giant list of these things, right? I see. So icon to char. I guess let's try using this. So instead of doing this, which apparently doesn't work, and then I guess what, nerd house home dot can we do and then we get a char. And do we need to use the format macro to do it? And call toString? Do we need, is that how we're supposed to do it? There's quite a lot of guessing going on right now, isn't there? What do we think? Do we think it's going to work? And our survey says there's a little house icon. Amazing. So I don't know why this doesn't work. Maybe it's a different Unicode character. It probably is that. So this one. Okay, let's use Unicode. Look up. Is it this one? No, this one's not very good. Yeah. Home. I mean, there's home and there's house. One F3E0. I'm just kind of curious at this point. Because there's a house, but not an actual house. You've got home instead. Oh, not that one. Which is EB06. It's not that one. Can you search here for the number? Private use area. Great. That's not what I was expecting. So for some reason that font doesn't have that Unicode glyph in it, the one that I was trying to use. But whatever. So yeah. Whatever. I don't care. Right, so, okay. Use an emoji for the home, on the home tab. See, it's little things like this which really force you to discover more about the framework that you're using. Okay, so that'll do for the home tab, I think. Let's try and do some work on the document tabs. So let's see where we are. Right. Yeah. Where do I want to go first? Let's try and do the same thing I did. Let's not do the document tabs just yet. Let's try and add the checkbox because this is where we got stuck with Cushy. Let's try and add the checkbox to say show on startup to the home tab and see what falls out in the wash. So we've got text and we've got this. Great, fine. So we need to use a column of text. Do we do this? How do we use columns again? Who remembers? Nope, not me. Because you can't go dot into here because it doesn't know what it is that we want. Let's see what compiler errors we get when we try and do this. Do we need to do it like this? Oh dear. No, I was right. It was with these. And then do we call dot into on this after the end? Perhaps. Yes. Maybe. Doesn't know. Great. Oh, it's just fantastic. This is, isn't it? Let content is this. But it knows what type of I just want to create a column of things. Right. What's the problem? Oh dear. This is how we made a column before. We go column and then into. And the type that it converts it into is this. And then for some reason this needed to be in a container and I don't know why. But the example didn't have any containers, so no idea why. I don't know why you would need this. Column macro takes no arguments. Is it because we've got the wrong... We're using the wrong macro? Stood lib. Iced widget column. Well, where's it trying to get that from then? Is that? Is this a different thing? Right, now we get a different message because it doesn't know what this is really. Just into everywhere you go. Type annotations needed. So here I've got status bar and it's text. And I don't have to do any funny things. Do I just not need to call it then? Okay. Right, does it still work? Yes. Right, so what we were trying to do is add the radio button. Show on, not radio button, checkbox. Show on startup, checkbox. and it needs a label. And it also needs, who knows? Well, is checked. Oh, I see. Well, right. So the question is, how do we get the value into it then? Let's say show on startup bool. Sure, we can do this, right? But this isn't going to compile probably. Well, it probably will, because this will have a default of false. That isn't necessarily what we want. So where we create the add home tab, we go home tab default. Let's see if we can work this out. Right. In the previous example, we had a config file, right? I'm just going to grab this entire thing. It's not very exciting. It basically takes a config which has got one property in it currently, which is show on startup, and it serializes and deserializes it. Fine, right? So in our main method, we can go load, and we get a config, and then at the end of it we can go config save, and we give it a reference to it. And we return the result. Fine. So we can load a config up. Let's see if that compiles. No, because we don't have serde. So let's add serde. Let's use the same dependencies. Okay. Compiling. Every time I do this, I think of the xkcd compiling one. Where is it? Compiling. Number one program excuse for legitimately slacking off. Compiling. Carry on. Love xkcd. Come on. Let's just look at the joke again while we're compiling. Right. Wow. Come on. Right. Unused result of... Oh, okay, so it's being a bit more strict. Unused results. Dot. Can we do OK there instead? Why is it complaining about this? Unused results. Error. Request on the command line with unused results. What am I supposed to do with this? Write gives me a result. Right. and then I go OK on that, which is an option, and it converts it to an option. Should we use expect? Could not write config. And maybe we should have some logging context and all this kind of stuff. Why? I'm using the result. I don't understand this error message. It's stupid. It's stupid. I'm using the result. I call expect with it. It gives you the thing back. I don't know about that. Doesn't really help. Right, so now what should happen is that when I close this, a config file should be created. A config file was indeed created. So what we need to do is, when this is true, show the home tab on startup, and in the home tab display this boolean state. And then when the home tab, when someone clicks it in the home tab, it should update this state in the config. How and where do we organize the code to do that, though? That's the question. So I need to call this add home method if that flag is true. Right. Okay, but we're going to run into the first problem. Because oh, I see. Okay. So there was another method in there with run with, and then I don't know, foo, let's say. This wants a method that can return something. I guess what, and then UI dot add home. Something like this, maybe, and then return UI. Expected tab document ID task message, but found tab document UI. So I clearly don't understand how to use this run with thing, because they all go like this: editor new, and this is a method, and this returns self and a task. Oh, it's got to return it. It's got to have a type. Task and then message, but this is the type. Oh, I see. This is going to be task none, like that, maybe. Sure. Now what happens? So we get a home tab when it starts up, which is good. And then if I change my config to set this to false and then run it again, we shouldn't get a home tab, right? We indeed do not. This is good. So let's see. Right. So, how do we now make the checkbox do something? So I've got a checkbox. I can't click it because it's got no action, probably. So the home tab, what are we expected to do here? I've got this, right? A checkbox on toggle. Meh. Now I see value. I don't know. Self.show on starter equals value. Sure, but we're only updating the home tab itself. I mean, we could probably do that to be consistent, but it's kind of pointless. Should we send a message? Is that how we're supposed to do it? Like, so I could send a message which is like the value of this toggle, right? And then the main app can then handle that message from the home tab. But it can't because it's sending a tab message. And tab messages knows absolutely nothing about the home tab. And it shouldn't. So I can't send a message because there's no appropriate message. I don't have access to the config. And views aren't supposed to have side effects. But it's not really the view that's got a side effect, it's the on toggle closure that's got a side effect. But we can't update this. What are we supposed to do here? We don't have a mutable cell, so we can't actually even do this. What? What are we supposed to do here? How can we either A, update this, or B, update this? I've got a view, text tab message. Should we have another method in here which is like update? Let's have a look at the tab example again. Let's see what this looks like. Self message type. Interesting. We can have associated type. So login tab is a login tab. And when might this be called? I'm just trying to work out how I can possibly structure my application. But wait, what? When is this called? Wait a second. And then there's an update method, and this is called by, because of this, right? When is this ever constructed? Wait a second. So this means that the login tab knows about the all the application messages, which means the login tab has a dependency on the application. No. It should be the other way round. It should be the application has a dependency on the login tab, not the login tab has a dependency on the application. Let's look at the red flags. That is a dependency red flag to me. It's backwards. Why is it wrong? If I add something here, I've now got a compile time dependency. Right, it has to recompile the login tab, the login code, because it has a dependency on this structure. No, it's backwards. I don't like it. No. No. No, no, no. Let's look at other examples to see whether this is a common pattern. Well, we need an example with more than one message. How can we find it? We can find applications that do that because they use this map method. Let's have a look. So what are we looking at here? We've got a game of life. And then why was it calling that map method? Why? Oh, this view returns a different message. Which message is this? Right. That seems better that way. No. Let me go back to what we're actually trying to do and see if we can work out what we can do. Close tabs. So what have we got? 2.5 hours so far. So we don't know what to do here. So this view, it doesn't really care about tab messages. Let's just create, just for shits and giggles, an enum called home tab message, and we're just going to put none in it for now. Right, and this is going to break things. Right. Let's just comment that bit out for now. Right. So this doesn't match this. Where's my trait for tabs? Yeah, we're doomed here. We're doomed. Because I can't put all the different tabs into is it an do we need to now use any's here? God, this is going to be a mess. Just no. They all have to have the same type to be able to put them in a slot map, right? And if this type of the message is defined and required by the view to be a different one from the other tabs, then they're all going to have different tab types. It's just, you can't do it. So we can't return a home tab message here. We have to return a tab message, otherwise we can't put the tabs in a list. Right, so what am I supposed to do here? What am I supposed to do? What options have I got? I could have a global context where I can just ask for the config and update it. But I thought views are supposed to be, no side effects. There is no kind of message that I can add to this list which is applicable for all of the different types of tabs that I could possibly ever imagine. Should it be a? Can we go tab message? I honestly don't know. And then what can we have it? Any? Done any? No. Box done any? And then what? Go. What are you supposed to do here? I must produce a message. Do we do this? Probably. And then I suppose in here, I don't know, we need to delegate to the tab or something. Tab message. What is this? Foo. It's a tab message. And then what? Delegate to the tab? Do we have the tab key? No, we don't have the tab key. Tab message. Maybe. And then self dot, well, key, is it key message. Self.tabs.get. Sure, we'll call mut on it, I suppose. And then what? Tab key. We know it's going to be there. And then call update with bar, which is really the tab message. Something like that. And then we need this. What is it? We've got a box done tab. Let's say let tab is this. And then what? Add to the trait. I don't know what it's going to do. Does it return anything? This update returns a task message. I mean, is that what we want? I don't know. Let's have a quick look at this. It doesn't return anything. Fine. Alt tab. That's what I'm looking for. Yes. Right. But it's supposed to take a message. And this message is a box done any. But that maybe. And then we're going to go blah 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 is not implemented for this, which is fine. So we can implement that. And then here we can use any and downcast it to the home tab message, maybe? Oh, no, not default. I guess if, well, we could try doing the if let sum, but you know, nobody should be sending us the message of the wrong type. So let's just try downcast ref, downcast mut. That's what we want. Is it a mut? No, it's not mutable. Downcast ref, unwrap. And we're going to say this is one of these. And woe betide anybody that sends us anything different. Because that'll panic. But it's fine. You shouldn't send one tabs messages from one tab to a different tab, basically. I don't know. I mean, who receives this? It's kind of a bit funky. You know, and if we've got a value, now we can mutate self because we've got a mutable self. Oh. Yeah. And now we're going to run into some bundles of fun. Yeah, can't be sent between threads safely. Oh, fantastic. Why? Why does it need to be sent between threads safely? Clone is not implemented for any. Yeah, I mean, it's true. You see, it's just fail. Fail to do anything useful with the check box value. Can't use din any in the tab message. Partners one field, yeah. I mean, there's no point even doing it. Was it supposed to be like this? Was it? Oh, I suppose we need a tuner. How does that even compile? Well, I know it's not going to work, but I'm just kind of curious. We don't have the mess. We need a key. I can't create the message without a key. I need a tab key here, even if I was to do that. I don't have a tab key. Wait, hold on, sorry. Yeah. How am I supposed to know what tab to create the message for? Like here you get a key, here you get a key, but here just fail. Fail. It's not going well. I think I'm done with this for today. Not origin. I'll just push up the code if anyone's interested in it. Yeah. So yeah, quick flash. I've got similar problems here. It's like what are you supposed to do? How are you supposed to create applications with decent dependency management, reusability, right, and all the rest of it? How? Just it's just a mess. Let's go tabbed document UI example fail 1. And then revert that because that was no good. Let's just review the things I'm about to commit. Well, none of the frameworks are winning for complicated things at the moment for various different reasons. So yeah, I don't want that. We can't use any. We can't delegate to the right child. I mean, this is what you want to do, to be able to do the delegate, but we can't get the tab key from the tab. So yeah, that's a total fail. So yeah, back to the home thing. So we've got this checkbox. So on toggle, how can we either create a message it has to return a message. There are no suitable messages. Tab message should not know about the home tab. Fix me. Fail to update config with new value. Right, I'm just going to commit this fail and then ask around. Fail to achieve goal of updating the config. Yeah. Let me push that up. Git push Oops. Let's create a new branch, fail 2, git push hydra, tab document, example, fail 2. And then git reset head 1. Right. So I don't know what other people do. So I'm going to ask around in the Discord community, see if we get any reasonable responses, and try picking this up in the next stream. But currently I'm blocked by not knowing how to create a list of tabs which don't know about all the other tabs, right? Because they shouldn't. They all have to be the same type. I don't want to pollute the tab message with a bunch of things that are not generic. This should only be generic messages. I can't add a type to the tab trait because the tabs need to be for a particular type of message, because the tabs need to be added to a slot map which doesn't know about the types of tabs that are going to be put into it. It can be any type of tab for any particular purpose. So such as the home tab or the document tab, right? I do have one idea. I've done this before, tab kind, right? Home. Home tab. This might work. Let me give this a try first. Let's just see if this works. If we can use an enum for this, because it's fine to know about the different types of tabs within main. That is okay, as long as the tabs don't know about each other. This idea might work. Let's introduce that again. So when we implement this thing for this, I'm not very familiar with these specifying types like this. Let me see if I can refresh my memory on how we're supposed to do this. So we implement tab for logins. Right, we specify like that. That's right. Forgetting how to specify the types that you need. Tab document example. Right. So home tab needs to specify this. That's better. Right. Like that. And this needs to use the local type from the trait. No. Oh, this needs to be self message. Right. And then you run into the other one. Oh, good lord. So we've got a tab kind here now instead of a tab. I suppose. Oh god, it's just going to be a nightmare. I suppose we can add a method onto the tab kind. Well. And then what? What possible? Just. Yeah, I suppose. I guess we need to match self, and then if it's a, we can go home tab. Yeah, but this, you see, no. And then do we need to, what can we do here? Do we do a map here? And then what do we do here? What's map supposed to return again? It's supposed to return an element of the same type. How did we use map before? You have to return a message. What? What kind of message? Tab message? No. No. Fuck knows. I don't know. Excuse my French. What could we possibly put here? All I've got is selected or closed, right? But I've got a view that is returning a home tab message, which needs to be converted into some other kind of tab message. So what we had before was, let's just go child message and just not put anything in it for now, just to see if we can compile something. And then to do somehow put message in child message. And then it's complaining because of some reason I don't know. Do we go into first and then map? Maybe? I don't remember the order of this. Into and map. You go map and then you go into. And then we've got fantastic trait bound things again. Great. What is this now? I'm not enjoying this. Not at all. I mean, that's what we're doing? We're going from... Oh, wait, no, sorry. We were supposed to do this. Okay. No method found label. Yeah, because we need to do this as well, I suppose. Pub fun label. And then whatever label returned, which is a string. Oops. Yeah. Right now, we're trying to insert something into this, but it's not that. We need a tab kind home. And then there's this one, it just wants a home tab, it doesn't need a box anymore. Right, can't leak private type. How are we leaking it? Oh, right, home tab message. That needs to be public. Okay, so that compiles, which I guess is good. But it doesn't do anything useful yet. Let's try failing at doing this again. On toggle value. And then we're supposed to return a message here. Let's define our message as show on starter changed. And give it the Boolean. Right. Right. So what we need to do now is in this update method handle this tab message properly, because what do we get here? Let's say println foo. Let's do that and run this and see what happens when I press the button, toggle the thingy, toggle the checkbox. So we get child message, right? But we don't have any details of the child message. So what we need to do here is now delegate that to the particular type of tab. And we've got a mutable self. So if we go self, but the problem is we still don't have the tab key. We need to do the tab key thing first, because we can't get the tab unless we have a key. That's what we need to do, but we don't have the tab key. We don't know which tab sent the message. I'm just going to do this to make it compile, just to make sure that that works. And then we can delegate to the tab, which will be update with the message, right? That's what we want to do. We get a tab kind, and we call, yeah, so then we go pub fun update. I guess you don't need to do that, do you? Right. And then we can add our update method. We can probably do default implementation, right? I can't remember what the syntax is. Screw it. So the home tab needs to implement update. Do we need to pass the message in it? Yeah, I suppose we need the parameter name message. But we need the argument. So this needs to have the message, but this is a tab message. Yeah, we don't know what this is. What can we put here? Oh yeah. See, it's not this. You have to do that there, and this is where you have to convert it. to pass it here, the thing. Yeah, I don't know what is. Wait a second. Didn't I already do this? Trying to work this out, but you know. Boxed in any home tab message, which is fine, right? Tab message boxed in any, fine. And then when we sent it, when we delegated it, we somehow got it from the child message thing. Oh yeah, we need to do stuff. And then here we need the message. Maybe. Oh no, it's already in a box. It's going to be in a box. Child message. And then we can't clone. How the are you supposed to do this? No, we just go round in circles again. I think. Let's just see. Let's just fix the errors and see where we get to. What's the problem here? That needs to be there. Right. Where do we get to? So, cannot be sent between threads safely, right? So we've still got that problem. You can't use didn't any in there. And then you can't add clone to it. And then because of that, we get some other issues when we do this. I'm not quite sure why that compiles. Right. So we can't clone this. And it needs to be cloned. Does it really need to be cloned? Yep, it does. So we can't do this. Okay, so this is the third failed attempt. This is now. Still failing, even when using an enum for the items in the slot map. It's not going well. Right, that's enough for today. I've had enough of this. So let's just see what we're trying to do. I'm just going to go match on the message here, just to see what the next step would be if we could do it like this. Is that what you're supposed to do? It's just madness, this is. It's so... I really don't like this. I mean, really, do I actually have to go to the level of creating a message that gets received and then forwarded so that I can update myself with this new value? Oh well, star value, sure. And then the next thing we need to know, right, even though we've got compile fails, we've got these compile fails, the next thing I need to know is how do we get this state back into the config? So let's add a note onto here. To do, how do we get the value of the show on startup in the home tab instance back into the config? Right, I'm just going to throw this out there because I don't understand currently how we're supposed to do things. And let me just squish these two. Fix that up. No. There we go. Oops. Do I need to do that? Oh, I wanted to reorder these as well. Do I care about this? No, wait a second. Something happened there. What happened? I screwed something up. Oh. I fixed the wrong, squished the wrong one. Never mind. Okay, I'm just going to squish these. Fine. Fail free. Aye. What is going on? Wait a second. Oh, I've made a mess of things now. Damn it. Hold on. Git ref log. This one. Let's see if we can unfudge that. Why? Right, yeah. So this one was supposed to be squished with this one. How do you just show this one? Where's the meh commit? Can we get a refresh? Why doesn't this show all the commits? What's the problem? Come on, IDE, git rebase. Let's do that again. So this one, is supposed to be squished with this one. And this one is supposed to be here. No. Okay, that's what I want to do. I squished the wrong ones. Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. Git foo. Right. That's it for today, I think. So basically, yeah, we're still failing. Still failing. Like, how do we do this stuff? I'm gonna ask in the ICE Discord for some assistance, and we'll see if we get some responses back. All right. So, just remember, everybody, it's only software. How hard can it be? We'll find out on the next one. See ya.